Hi everyone, what's going on? It's Yes Spooky Ghoul, Brazilian Batgirl, and I have a lot to say about my track day. I will make another video talking about my very first track day ever, which took place a little less than a year ago on my DR 650 right there. And that will serve as more of a what not to do on your first track day. When that's up, I will have it up here and down below, but if it's not up yet, it will be soon. But today, I'm here to talk about my first track day this season and the second one I've ever done in my entire life, which was on August 7th at New York Safety Track. My husband and I bought the brand new Ducati Panigale V2. I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it Panigale or Panigale? Panigale? I'm just gonna say Panigale, even though I know that's wrong. And so this was my first track day on our new sports bike. I've only ever owned upright motorcycles, and that's where I feel more comfortable on a bike. So being on a sports bike on a track with a bunch of people trying to go fast is completely out of my comfort zone, but I still went and I still wanna do this and go back. When we go up, we usually go up Saturday morning, which makes us miss the first 2 to 3 sessions, but I really wanted to be there for them as they are usually no passing. So we went up Friday night to wake up Saturday morning and already be there. And Saturday was a great day. It was pretty empty, which is not normal for a Saturday, but that's great for me because less people there means less people that I have to worry about. And I know when you're at the track, you're not supposed to worry about other people, but sorry. I'm so sorry. I clearly do. I'm trying to get better at it, but I'm not there yet. So when I went out for my first session, I felt better than I had anticipated. My previous and only sports bike experience was going around the parking lot here at our apartment on my husband's old Ninja, and the previous owner of that bike used to race with it, so it had a pretty aggressive riding setup. I felt completely uncomfortable on it. I was like falling into the tank, or I felt like I was constantly like fighting gravity. So I didn't enjoy that bike at all on the 2 minutes I was on it. And I thought that my experience on the V2 was gonna be similar, but I really enjoyed this bike. I actually felt really great on it. I am not gonna save this until the end. I'm just gonna say it. I love this bike. It could be because I had set the bar so low with sports bikes because I had such a terrible, horrible, like uncomfortable experience on one that if I just didn't feel like I was laying down into the tank, or if I just felt remotely okay on it, I would be, okay, this is fine, I can do this. And it really could be that the bar was set super low for me for sports bikes, but I love this bike. The more I ride it, the more I love it. I want to not love Ducati as much as I do. We had a Monster before this, and I just have to say Ducati just consistently shatters my expectations and my pre-existing like notions of it. I love this bike. I loved the Monster. I didn't think I would, but I do. So I love you. Having said that, I do still find it pretty miserable to be on it for more than 20-30 minutes. It does get uncomfortable. I know there are people that ride these bikes and other sports bikes on road trips across the continental United States and elsewhere. I'm not one of those people yet. Who knows, maybe one day, but I don't know how you guys do it. Props to y'alls. But I'm getting off track. First session, pretty smooth. I learned from my prior experience to look for reference points when I'm on the track so that I don't feel super lost. And so I really tried to focus on that this time. I was able to keep up and keep pace with my group and the rider in front of me, which is a lot more than what I can say for my first time. So there were a lot of positives for me. I was happy. At New York Safety Track, there's this one specific section that I have difficulty with, that I get more nervous when I'm on it, when I'm approaching it, and that's sections I think it's the turns 12 through 14 or 15. I don't know why. It's downhill, so there's momentum. Yeah, I feel like I'm fighting the bike to get it to go around the turn. And then after all that work trying to get it to go around the turn, there's this sharp turn to the other direction. And I don't know. There's a lot I don't know about track riding, but I don't know why I struggle so much with that section. I did what I was supposed to. I did look to the cones, and when I had to turn in the opposite direction, I was desperately looking for the cone, which I did, but I felt like I almost rode off track while I was looking to the cone. Where's the cone? Where's the cone? Oh, don't look in front of you! And I guess it's because I was turning in too early. I'm guessing it's because I was anticipating the turn. Like I knew it was there. I knew it was sharp. I just wanted to do it. I wanted to make sure that I could do it. I wasn't going to ride off the track or anything. And so I was anticipating the turn and I turned in too early. There's a lot I don't know about track riding, but either way, I struggle with that section. I don't really love that section so much. There are other turns that I feel uneasy going around, that I question my speed around it, that I turn and I feel like I'm going too wide. Wide, just bad. That I don't know if I'm doing, like if I'm on the right line or if I'm going fast enough or slow enough for that line. But this section, 12 through 15 or whatever, that section really stands out above the rest as like something that I need to work on more. I liked that during the first session, as we were following each other, we picked up pace. Well, the coach picked up pace and we followed as we got closer to the end of the session. It felt like a comfortable way of like exploring your comfort zone and your progress, because you knew you could do it at like a slower speed. So like you kind of just built up from there. I don't know, I always hear people talk about how they purposefully sit out of the first session, how they don't really like the first session because it's no passing. And I guess if you really do go to the track a lot and you really know your lines and you're super familiar with the track layout and everything, I can see how maybe the no passing session is really boring for you. But I really liked the first session. That's the session I looked forward to on both days. To which I don't even know if I should be going to the track if the session I look forward to is the no passing one, but let me see if anything particularly stands out about my first session that I wrote at that I didn't mention. Oh, I mentioned how I had hand pain at the end of the session, definitely from poor body positioning and tension, which is true. And I mentioned how I was sad the session ended, which is so good for me to read from my previous self, because the first track day experience, oof. And for the second session, the first 2 or 3 laps were no passing, but then they allowed for passing. So I knew it was coming. And also, a lot of the people I know that ride on the track talk about how they can get scared when people pass super close or pass super fast, and it kind of like jolts you a little bit. So I think knowing that already from them and hearing that from them, I was already expecting that. So I didn't get scared this time of anybody passing, which was great. Not to say that it won't happen. I might get scared eventually, but I didn't this time. And I might sound crazy, or this might be crazy, but I do talk to myself while riding in my helmet, because talking to myself helps me to not overthink so much. Since we think faster than we talk, if I'm just in my head, I'm just thinking about everything I'm doing wrong and then everything that could go wrong because I'm doing everything wrong. It's a lot, but that's how my mind works. And so verbalizing my thoughts kind of makes me focus on one thought at a time, even if it is what I'm doing wrong, but it's not everything that I'm doing wrong. It's just that one thing that I'm able to express verbally. But this second session, I had a great time. I had so much fun. It was beautiful. I wasn't freaking out. I wasn't super scared. Obviously, you're a little nervous, so I wasn't blasting through the track going super fast, but I had a great time. I guess it's because I did the thing. I looked for the reference points. I was talking through my thought process. Open, and this cone. Oh, shit. This cone. This one, these ones, that one, okay. This is a straight line. Is it? Is it? Didn't feel like it. And then you go this cone, and then you go here. I do think passing is stressful. The girl that I was behind, she was great. She was really getting off the bike and going into turns super well. So she's a lot smarter than me at riding on the track. But when I'd get to that section that I am nervous about, it could just be the bikes. It could just be the fact that I'm stupid and I'm going into it a lot faster than I should. But if I was following her, she would go slower than I wanted to go on that section. Like I wanted to enter it with a little bit more speed. Notice I'm saying a little bit more speed and not fast, because I don't want to go super fast. So I made it a point to, when I got back on the straight, I would try to pass her just so that I could hit that section with a little bit more speed on the next lap. I did pass her when we got to the straight, but as soon as I did, I was just like, oh my gosh, did I pass her now only to slow her down when I go on turns? Now let me try to go a little bit faster so that I'm not holding her up and I'm not being rude. And just passing is really stressful for me. I would rather not do that again. Let me see if I have any standout notes from that session. I did say that I focused on finding the cones and I had a great time. I underlined great, so I had a great time. I noted how my hands still hurt and my neck still hurt. So I didn't mention that on my notes for the first session, but yeah, my hands hurt and my neck hurt. I would assume it's because of my helmet. I have this Icon helmet. I don't know, I think it's like the Air Flight, I'm not sure. It's beautiful, I love it, and it's really quiet and nice, but I would have to look up to see my next reference point, and so I would obviously tilt my head up. I don't know why my neck would hurt with this helmet, and then it would kind of push it down, and so I was riding with it like covering my eyes, and I'd have to like push it back up when I could, and then I could see, and then I'd like have to lift my neck up again, and then I don't know. I don't think this was great for me on the track, and it's probably my fault. It's probably something I'm doing wrong. There's a lot I don't know about track riding. I remember my neck hurt my first track day, and I also had this helmet, so I'm probably doing something wrong with this helmet when I'm at the track. But I really just finished that session wanting to focus more on body positioning because of my neck pain and my hand pain, and I know that there's a lot that I don't know, and so I'm probably doing something wrong. So I just really wanted to kind of do what a lot of the other people were doing, which is get in the habit of doing these like exaggerated motions of like really opening up your leg or like really sliding off the seat, so that when the time comes that you have to do it, it's a little bit more natural. And I figured that if I got the body positioning down, maybe those sections that, you know, they had those like wide sweeping turns, I'd feel a little bit more comfortable on it. I don't know. So for the third session, I switched over to my husband's AGV helmet. He has like some AGV fancy schmancy something that is lightweight, and I don't know if it's like purposefully track built, but it was a lot better. All of a sudden switched into like HD viewing. It was like super widescreen and I could see so much of the track, and his tinted visor kind of acted like this beautiful ND filter. It was gorgeous. I loved wearing his helmet. So I wore his helmet the rest of my time at the track on Saturday and Sunday as well. The only problem that I had with that was that his helmet doesn't have any points for the camera. And I know that my camera angle was a little off on my helmet, so I need to adjust that. But if I am gonna wear his helmet again, I need to figure out where to put the camera on the bike, because I regret not having track footage for the rest of my time there, because it really helps for me to see if I really just am in my own head, if I'm still following the same lines, like what am I doing wrong? So I really enjoy recording at the track because of that. And with his helmet, I didn't. So here we are. Bike's great. Weather's beautiful. I love this helmet. It's perfect. I haven't freaked out. I'm feeling good. Let's start the third session. And it was a disappointment. Again, this is why I would have loved to have a camera on it for that third session, because I would be able to see if I really was in my head and I was hitting the lines, or if I really was totally lost and I wasn't hitting anything at all. Because all I know is that I decided to switch over to focus on body positioning, and I once again felt super lost on the track. If I go through it, like my thought process, I would try to get off the bike, realize that I'm only opening my leg and I'm not off the bike, and then be like, okay, wait, let me actually slide off the bike. Wait, do I slide off the bike, or do I get my butt up off the seat and like push up off it and then get off the bike? Wait, if I push off the pegs, do I push off on both, or do I push off on the inner one more than the other? Do I do that mid-turn? Should I have done that before? Wait, speaking of turns, I'm in the turn right now. Am I going fast enough? Am I going too fast? Do I need to slow down? What is the line? Am I on the line? What is the line? Is there someone coming behind me? Am I going too wide? Am I gonna mess them up? Am I gonna make this? Wait, where's the reference point? I don't even know where I'm looking at anymore. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I would have that like thought process and that feeling every single turn. And that kind of stayed with me the entire session, and I just couldn't shake it. I still enjoyed the session, but I felt a little shaken. Like, it was not great, but okay. So I definitely was a little disappointed when I went back to our campsite because, you know, you feel like the natural trajectory of things is to progress and to get better. So why am I not doing that? And I didn't even get close to how I felt during the second session, and my hands still hurt a lot. So it was kind of a bummer. I had one more session left before like lunch break and before I was done for the day, because then my husband was going to take over for the afternoon. Let me actually see. I think I wrote that down. So for the third session, I said that I focused on body positioning. Probably a mistake because my hands still hurt and I felt lost the whole session. I couldn't keep a good pace. I tried, but I think I was slower than the previous 2 sessions. Hungry, tired, discouraged, had to pee, unsure if I should go out, but I really want to. Yeah, I mean, I painted a pretty bleak picture for myself here, but yeah. So I did go out for the 4th session, but it honestly was more of the same. So it just felt worse because I really wanted it to improve and it didn't. I did note that my gas light came on at the lineup and that instead of progressing, I feel like I'm regressing. I'm in my own head too much and I know I can do it. And honestly, that just sums up the 4th session pretty well because that was it. There's really no standout moments or anything. It just was a lot more of the 3rd session, except now with the gas light on. And then I really was just kind of preparing myself for day 2, which was on Sunday. That was a busy day. Saturday was pretty empty, but Sunday I woke up at 7 o'clock with the sound of motors roaring incessantly. And I've been to the track enough times to know that if I wake up with my own alarm clock, it's a pretty quiet, pretty empty day. But when, you know, bikes are revving and there's just like motorcycle sounds all around, it's like, okay, there's a lot of people here today. Even without getting out of the van, you can already know. And it was packed. I think because it was a rookie day. So a lot of people that this was like their very first time on the track because they had a dedicated rookie session, which is great. And also they were going downtown instead of uptown, which is the normal like flow of the track. And I know a lot of people love downtown, so I think a lot of people went out specifically to ride downtown. Downtown, obviously you're going downhill, which is scary. Especially because the first turn on downtown, which is turn 18, so the last turn on uptown, it's sharp, it's blind, and you're going so fast. So I was really nervous about that turn. And this was like even before lining up, but I begrudgingly lined up. And I say that not because I didn't want to do it, because I did, but I was so nervous that I didn't. Does that make sense? But it was the same deal. First session, no passing, just really getting a feel for the track and all the new reference points now that it's downtown. And that whole section that like scared me in uptown, which is like turns 12 through 14 or 15, it didn't really scare me so much in downtown. I actually liked it. And turn 18 was not as scary as I thought, which is kind of like the repetitive thing that happens in my life. But Wheelie Hill, which I think is like turn 7, I'm not sure. I think it's turn 7. People say that Wheelie Hill is scary uptown because if you're going fast enough, the front tire kind of lifts up. I didn't think Wheelie Hill was that scary uptown, but again, I'm going not as fast as most people are. But I did find Wheelie Hill scary downtown because it's like you're going up the hill now for Wheelie Hill and it's blind, you can't see over it, and there's this really short little section of track and then you have like this turn immediately after. So you're like carrying all this momentum, you can't see what's over the hill, and then you get over the hill and you're like shit, and a turn. Coming into turn 1 of downtown, so the last turn on downtown, first turn on uptown, that one was, I guess, not scary, but I wasn't doing it too great. Like I was always going super wide, and really like even in the sections leading up to it, maybe I wasn't, maybe that is like a wider section of the track, so it just seems like you're going too wide, but you're not. I don't know. Again, this is why I wish I had recorded so that I would know if I actually was doing something wrong or not, but I didn't feel good. It felt like I was messing up. I wasn't doing it too great. I did finish the first session, kept up with my group. But again, same thing, finished the session. My hand hurt, like this section of my thumb hurt, like right here. It's not like excruciating pain or anything, like it's not that bad, but I think like when you already feel defeated, or you're not doing things too great and you're in pain, and you know you're probably in pain because you're doing something wrong, I think it makes the pain seem like it's a lot worse because it carries emotional baggage. So then for the second session of Sunday, I really was like, no, you know what? I'm going to focus on reference points. I'm not going to focus on body positioning anymore. Like, let's go back to what we did that worked so that you don't feel so bad on the track again. And I also made it a point to ride at a speed that I was really comfortable at. Like, even if that meant I was going the same speed as I went during the first session when you're just following the coach and it's no passing, even if I was going that speed, if that's the speed that I was comfortable at, I was going to maintain that speed, because I know that if I go at a comfortable pace around the track and I'm not trying to like open up the throttle and go as fast as I can, I do feel comfortable. Even though I'm like a little like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, I feel better. So I was like, go that speed. Don't try to go faster. And I was encouraged because I saw 3 other riders throughout the weekend in novice group like really cruising on the track. Like, they were not trying to go fast at all. They were getting passed by a lot of people, and they went out every single session and they stayed the whole session and really were enjoying themselves and progressing at their own pace, which is what you're supposed to do at the track. So I probably was a little bit envious of them because they were doing what I wish I was doing, which is just riding at a comfortable pace, riding where you feel good, and not giving a about the people around you. But I wasn't able to do that. In the second session, on 2 separate turns, 2 different riders tried to pass me, but we were approaching a turn, and so I could see them like coming up, but kind of like, well, they were on this side. I guess because we were approaching a turn and we were in novice group, maybe they didn't feel super confident passing me on a turn. And on both occasions, they like, I would see them and then they would like get out of view. And I was like, oh my God, these people want to pass me. I'm holding everybody up. I feel like they're in their helmet like, bah, like get out of the way. Because this happened twice, they're like, oh, this idiot in a Ducati, like thinking they just can go fast on straights and then slow everybody down around curves. And I wasn't trying to be that. I wasn't trying to like feed into that. That was it for me. Once that happened, I was like, my hand hurts. I'm not progressing. I'm holding everybody up. I can't do this. I gotta leave. I did 3 laps during the second session and that was it for me. I was disappointed, discouraged. I already achieved having fun and not feeling lost and just being more comfortable and trying to progress and making notes of what I needed to do. Like, I had already achieved that. So why can't I get that back? Like, at this point, I've gone out 4 different sessions and I still can't feel the same way I did on the second session of the first day. And I'm frustrated for the same reason. But I know it's possible. I know that I can regain like some level of confidence. Okay, I was never confident, but I can regain like focus and progressing and getting better. So I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna be back next weekend and I will figure out a way to hook up a camera either directly to the bike or to clip mount or something to my husband's helmet so that I can really see what I'm doing, because it would be super helpful if I could now see if I was in my head the whole time and I was riding the line, or if I really was super lost. So we'll see. It's not the bike's fault. This bike is great. I love it so much. It's, again, I'm sure maybe this isn't the best helmet for track riding, but also same thing. It's me. I know it's me. But I will be documenting and talking about this because I do want to look back on it and be like, look at where you were and look how now a brown cow, you're like way more comfortable on the track and you actually have fun is my goal. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you just want to follow along my journey. If you have any tips, I welcome them because I want to get better. Thank you guys so much. I will see you next time. Bye.